These exercises are excellent for doing right after an ankle injury because we're elevating it. It's really going to help with inflammation reduction. Make sure that you grab yourself an elastic TheraBand as well as a towel. So carefully maneuver yourself so that you're guiding your ankle up onto a wall. If you don't have as much flexibility, you can also get your butt further away from the wall. And now make capital ABCs with your great toe. So imagine your great toe is a piece of chalk and you're creating all the letters A all the way through Z with your big toe. Now, obviously my ankle isn't injured here, so I am exaggerating the motion as big as I can. For you, I don't want you to experience any pain. So if your letters are only, say, a square inch in size because you have so much inflammation and pain right now, then that is fine. Just do that. But every single time you do this video over the next couple weeks before you progress into more difficult exercises, or even really a week, and then you should start to progress into more difficult exercises. Only create a movement as much as you can tolerate in a pain-free range of motion. That is very, very important because when you just sprain your ankle, you have injured and torn your ligament. And when that happens, imagine you have a cut on your arm, right? You wouldn't keep annoying the cut by, touching the cut and moving it around and keep it separated, right? You'd let it heal so that the two ends of the skin can be approximated and heals. Well, this is the same in this regards. You want the ligament to heal as best as possible, but we need movement to help decrease the inflammation. So shake out your leg there. Now we're just going to scrunch the toes. So we're going to start doing almost like a lymph drainage here at the toes. So just scrunch and release, and scrunch your toes and release. Now I'm not moving my whole ankle here. I'm just focusing on the contraction of the toes. Again, everything should be in pain-free range of motion, and exaggerate the movement as much as you can, respecting that pain-free range. Like I was mentioning before, to get rid of inflammation or to help it get cleaned up faster by your lymph nodes, then you have to perform contraction of your musculature. Because the lymph nodes are passive, they need to be squished by your muscles during contraction, and when you relax the muscle, they release, and that whole process helps to suck in that extra inflammation. And now separate your toes as much as you can and release, and separate and release. So the other reason why we're focusing on other areas other than the ankle is because A, the muscles into the toes and the tendons that lead into the toes, they cross the ankle. So we want to keep the movement in there. We want to get that inflammation out there as much as possible. We want to reduce any excess scar tissue from laying down on top of ankle in the areas that it shouldn't. These are all the reasons why, and we want to maintain proprioceptive awareness of the foot. So when we start walking again and doing the other drills later in the weeks upon our rehab, we're not in a total loss. And now try to close the toes together. So instead of opening, you're trying to squeeze the toes together as much as you can. So this can be a little bit more difficult. But how I like to think of this is I'm slightly cupping my foot and almost imagining I'm trying to pick up a towel, or I'm trying to scoop the air up or something in my toes. For many people, a towel or picking up a pen or something would be a better analogy. And just a few more. And shake it out. So now grab yourself a towel, place it right over top of your foot, especially covering the heel, because we're going to be gliding the foot up and down, trying to work on dorsiflexion, range of motion. So that's when we bring our toes up to our nose, essentially. And you're going to, at the end, finish and try to bring the toes closer towards your chest. So slide down as much as you can, again, in a pain-free range of motion. So we're starting to stress dorsiflexion with a non-weight bearing exercise such as this in a closed packed position. And then flex the toes up as much as you can, all pain-free. And glide down the wall, adjust the towel as needed. Slide up and toes towards your chest. So keep repeating this, and again, if I'm going too fast for you at any point in time throughout this video, slow things down as you need. That's the best part about doing these videos at home on your own, is you can go at your own pace, pause the video as needed, stop and get water, stop and get a break, whatever the case may be. And you'll notice as you get stronger and stronger, you won't have to stop things as much, and you'll be able to keep up at the pace that I'm going. And every time, if you can, try to slide a little bit further and try and flex the foot a little bit more every time if you can. Because as we do these exercises, the inflammation should reduce more and more. And now remove the towel. And we're going to practice rising on the ball of our foot. So just test out the waters here, see what level you need to slide your foot up the wall, and when you rise onto your toes, if there's any pain with that. So just test around the area. I'm going to go down and then gradually slide up, just again testing to see where I feel or don't feel any pain. So when you find a spot where you're pain-free, I'll get you to perform these repetitions where you're rising up onto the ball of your foot and lowering. Go at the pace you need. Hold the position on either end, either in the relaxed position where your foot's completely against the wall or where you're up onto the ball of your foot. Work all those ranges, and even trying to push up into your toes if you can. Now let's grab the TheraBand, the elastic, and place it right over top of your toes. So we're just going to start working a little bit more of the strengthening here in isometric contraction. So hold that there. Release the resistance and then flex the foot back down. So add that resistance, point the foot, and hold it there. So an isometric contraction means we're not performing any range of motion, we're holding a contraction there as the muscle is working. So release the elastic and release. So that has pain reducing properties and also allows you to work and maintain the strength and the size of your musculature so you don't experience any atrophy, which is the muscles getting smaller because they're not being worked because you're fostering an injury. So this really helps to reduce any secondary complications that come with injuring an area of the body. And point the foot just nice and slow and easy, again, all pain-free range. And of course, you can control the resistance of the band depending how much you pull it. If you don't feel comfortable putting any resistance, you can just do this motion without the band, by the way. And now add a little bit of concentric, so we're just slowly pointing and then slowly flexing in a continuous manner. But if this is too difficult for you because you're in, say, day 1 or day 2, just do those isometric contractions. Don't worry about the concentric right away. So place the band out to the side and cross your foot over. So here's a slow version. Cross the foot. So in my case, right ankle, right hand, and I crossed my left foot over. So I can work on the isometric contraction of the inner musculature of the ankle. Now, most people, when they injure their ankle, they injure the outside of the ankle. So this one you're going to want to be particularly careful because this could be a little painful since we're going to be slightly stretching out the ligaments on that side. So just really be cautious, and perhaps you don't even have to put an initial sort of contraction so your toes go inward. You could simply just hold that position. Again, if it's pain-free, you're in the green. If you start to feel a little bit of discomfort, then don't push yourself because you could be prolonging your recovery. And release the resistance and release the foot. So add that resistance again. Contract and hold. Feel that inner part of the calf contracting. And release the resistance. And now pull back the foot. So the reason why we pull back the foot is it just helps to reduce any possibility of over exertion on that. Now take that leg, cross it back over, and just work on what's known as E version of the foot. So the toes will go out. And again, hold that in that isometric contraction. Release the resistance of the band, and toes go back. Add the resistance with the band to your comfort. Toes out and hold. Release the resistance. Toes go back to center. Place the resistance on the band. Toes go out. Hold. Release resistance. Toes go back. Again, add that resistance. Toes out and hold. Release resistance. Relax the feet back. Slowly, you're going to bend that right knee or the left knee, depending on the ankle, so that you can work on bringing the toes up towards your. Imagine you're bringing your toes to your shin. So you're bringing your toes up, holding that there. Releasing the resistance of the band and relaxing the foot. Add the band resistance. Bring the toes up, hold. Release the resistance, relax the foot, and repeat. Resistance, flex the toe up. Remember, keep that knee bent. Again, this should all be done in a pain-free range of motion. Release the resistance, relax the foot. Add that resistance back in. Bring the toes to the shin. Hold that there. And release. Slowly recover out of it. Slowly push yourself away from the wall. Roll yourself up, protecting that ankle. Sitting back up, and you are done. So great job for completing this video today. And again, like I mentioned, do this video at least for the first week and then transition to the video that I'll leave in the comments below. Okay, so click the link on the comments below to get the next progression of the exercise you want to work on when you're recovering from your ankle injury. Thanks again, guys, as well for tuning in and just watching. And I am open to suggestions. So if you want to request a video of something you want to see a rehab plan to, just leave that in the link below. And don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't, then you're never going to know when I'm releasing that new video. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and thank you so much for all your support.